Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singers, songwriters, and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is a queer Toronto-based artist blending genres of pop, soul, folk, and rock into a sound that's both timeless and uniquely her own. Praised by Blast magazine for vocals as smooth as chamomile tea and as sharp as a sewing needle, her witty lyricism and magnetic stage presence create an authentic space for connection. Her career highlights include working with Canadian icons Serena Ryder and Juno-winning producer Hill Kourkoutis. On a recent single, Thinking About You, Holly's music has been featured on Netflix's popular series Ginny and Georgia, while her award-winning single Big Plans captured the attention of industry legends Deborah Cox and Tegan and Sarah. So, let's spill the tea with Holly Clausius. Welcome, Holly.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Holly, you have accomplished a great deal in your young career. And I say young career, I know you've been at it for a while, but a young career in comparison to others who have been at it for, 30, 40, 50 years. You've done a ton. So let's talk about some of those accomplishments. And as my wife's from a small town in Northern Ontario, and she had a very successful career. She says, not bad for a little girl from Northern Ontario, a little town in Northern Ontario. And you're from Exeter, Ontario, which is
Yeah.
a smaller community, and you've done a lot. So, like, how does a young person from Exeter get onto those stages and be able to attract the attention that you've attracted?
Well, it's definitely been a journey. I started doing music when I was very young, but when I moved to Toronto in 2017, I just started by going to open mics and just meeting people in the community. And then eventually, a few years later, I was able to like book festivals and play on those bigger stages, and eventually quit like my barista job and do music full time, which was really a big deal for me.
When you were a barista, did you sing behind the counter there? Did people say, "Come on, Holly, give us a tune"?
No, but I did like curating the playlists that would play at the cafe. That was my my thing.
Ah, so you're the one that creates the playlist. I was wondering if that was a corporate thing, or do the individuals that
It
work in the
depends on the
store get to
cafe,
do
I
that?
think. Yeah.
You play guitar, ukulele, and you were a in the high school band as well. Would you consider yourself one of those band geeks?
No, I tried to be like, I was a theater person, so I was kind of a theater geek. But I was still, I played flute in band, and I honestly just liked the community of it. I wasn't the best flute player ever. But we would go on all of these trips. We'd go to like Vancouver, and we competed in nationals every year. And I just loved that sense of camaraderie with the entire band.
You mentioned that you left Exeter and you went to Toronto in the late like 2017.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's right before a couple of years before COVID hit,
hmm
and you were doing some busking as well in Toronto in the Kensington Market area.
hmm
What was the busking experience like in Toronto? I mean, there's lots of people busking around the city. Some people get the permit, some people don't get the permit. Um, there's lots
Yeah.
of experiences and lots of stories. What are some of your memorable stories about busking in in the big smoke of Toronto?
Well, yeah, busking was something I started because I had a few friends that were buskers for a few years, and obviously when the pandemic hit in 2020, that was just 1 year after I went full time in music. So I was like, I'm not going back. Like, obviously, nothing was open. So I just took my guitar out with him one day. I busked and then eventually started doing it on my own. And it made me a really tough musician, I would say. I was always like defending my equipment and stuff, but also you're just putting yourself on display in front of complete strangers and trying to get their attention in the few seconds they walk by. And I loved doing it. I can't think of like a specific situation that was like memorable to me other than just like the sense of playing and seeing someone stop their day, their crazy busy day in the city, and take a minute to listen or tip or buy an album. Like it was just a really unique experience, and I love it. I still love busking.
I would think that with a lot of artists that I speak with say that they suffer from performance anxiety, and I wonder what's more nerve-wracking. Is it going to a corner in Toronto, setting up your equipment and starting to play, or is it actually climbing those stairs onto the stage, which is more which is more what's a tougher situation for you?
I think probably the busking. I mean, for me, I've done it so much now. I feel like I rarely get nervous in both of those situations. But within a stage and a spotlight and everything, you don't see the audience. They're also there to see you. Whereas people on the street are not there to listen to music. They're just trying to get to their job or their next thing. So and I've had some like noise complaints and things in the past with people who are just, I think, angry at the world.
Cranky.
But I don't know. It's a different game for sure.
You had a tour a couple of years ago, and in the pre-interview, we talked about the different places that you had gone to, and some of the more memorable cities that you went to. And you selected Ottawa as one of the memorable cities. Ottawa and the surrounding area has an amazing collective of artists. Uh, but what happened to you in Ottawa during that show may
Yeah.
is memorable for maybe a different reason. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Ottawa, what a great community. Everybody was so supportive, but I was just coming off of my first Canadian tour, and that was one of the last stops. And I had been in Montreal the night before playing a show and went to a jam afterwards and eventually kind of lost my voice. And that was my first time experiencing that. So playing the show in Ottawa, I had barely a speaking voice. So I ended up typing in whatever banter I wanted to say to the audience and playing it on my Siri or whatever, which was very unique. And I hope I don't have to go through that again, but it did make for a memorable show.
Now, you did not have any vocal lessons up until that point. So you were, if I remember correctly, it was like 9 days in a row you were singing. You were like, it was
Yeah,
multiple days.
yeah.
And it was a doctor that actually helped you
Mhm.
with some of your voice techniques. So what did the doctor tell you? Help other young artists spare themselves of this affliction about getting up on stage and losing their voice.
Yeah. Well, I want to shout out. I did have a vocal teacher for 1 year when I was 5 years old. So just
Okay.
shout out to
All
Miss
right.
Amy. But when I lost my voice, yeah, I went to this doctor, Dr. Aaron Lowe in Toronto. He works with a lot of famous artists like Shawn Mendes, Justin Bieber, and he basically took a look at my vocal cords. We had like a camera, we had all this stuff, and I had just a lot of tension in my voice. So a big thing for singers is they love to rush their warm up. So really taking time in your warm ups, making sure you're hydrated, and doing a cool down too, like after your show. It's just like exercising. You want to kind of stretch that out afterwards too. So those are my big takeaways.
I was going to say it sounds very similar to a professional athlete, where they have to warm
100%.
up before before they hit the ice or the gridiron or whatever they hit, and then there's that afterwards as well. You have to
Yeah.
get rid of a lot of the stress and the tension as
Mhm.
well. You have worked with some pretty big artists. One of them being Serena Ryder, who you met through a through Honey Jam. Tell us about Honey Jam. What was that all about, and how did you connect with Serena Ryder?
Yeah. So Honey Jam is a program for women 25 and under. It's like an incubator where they kind of, for a year, give you mentorship, lots of different networking opportunities, and a big concert at the end of it. So I was in the year 2021, which was pretty rough with COVID. We didn't get to perform to the full degree, but I did get to meet some amazing people, like Sandy, Serena's manager at Art House, which is a label here in Toronto. And yeah, I connected with Sandy. I kept in contact, and eventually when I was writing a song that I thought Serena would be really good for, I pitched it to them, and yeah, the rest is history. Serena reached back out and was like, I love your voice, dude. Let's actually write a song from scratch. So that's how that happened.
When people hear about stories like that, that you're and they listen to your tracks now, and they hear your vocals, and they say, wow, this person has kind of been an overnight success. But the story couldn't be further from the truth. So coming from Exeter to where you are now has been a journey of,
Yeah.
and a lot of work. So
hmm
if you can distill that down to about, say, 30 seconds or 45 seconds, how much work went into it? Like, what are the highlights for you along the way where you said, yeah, that really worked, and that really worked, and that really worked for me?
I think for me, the journey is just being able to accept all those no's and all those, rejections. Because for me, if I would have just stopped there, I never would have gotten to where I am. And I always was putting myself out there. I never gave a shit. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the radio. Never gave a poo what people thought of me when it came to my music, because I'm just so passionate about it that, like, if someone doesn't like it, someone else will.
And of course, just work, work, work. One artist said, when you're first starting out, say yes to everything, because you
hmm
never know what's going to produce an opportunity. Do you subscribe to that theory as well?
I do, as long as what you're saying yes to aligns with what your goals are. So don't ever just sell out, but definitely try to say yes to the things that align with who you are as an artist.
You have another side to you where you foster dogs, and you have a ginger cat. I mean,
I
I
do.
I have as I've given a shout out to Sam many times. Here's my coffee mug. I was normal 3 cats ago, and my cat, of course, has a bad attitude and a drinking problem, as well. That side of you, are people surprised to find that about you, that you foster dogs, and you're a dog and a cat person and a lover of animals?
I don't think so. I mean, when I was very young, the first job I wanted to, when I was like in kindergarten, was a veterinarian, and I didn't go that route, but I always have loved animals and feel like I almost connect with them more than people sometimes. So yeah.
Well, that that has not that has not fallen on deaf ears with a lot of people because, yeah, sometimes animals are a lot easier to get along with than some people. Let's get into one of the songs that Holly wrote. This song was written by Hill Kourkoutis and Serena Ryder, as well as Holly. Let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Holly Clausius and her song, Thinking About You.
We were just kids when we first met. Yeah, we both had our hearts broken. Thought that maybe it was a sign we could be each other's lifeline. Thought that we could heal each other. Imagined we'd find part of us inside the other. shelf. All of the reasons, the way that you leave, and it's making me see that I'm all that I need. And the lies that you spread are sweet, but they can't tell. You said I'm all about myself, that I don't care about no one else. But I'm always thinking about you and everything that I do. You said I'm ruining your life, I got you staying up all night. But I'm always thinking about you, I'm always thinking about you. Thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you. Thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you. Thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you. Thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you. Thinking about you.
That was Thinking About You by Hill Kourkoutis. Holly, what is that song about, and what was the inspiration to write it?
Yeah, so that song, I wrote that in a time in my life where I was in a very stressful living situation. It was someone who was a friend at one point, and it slowly became a very toxic living environment. And the night before, I had to go to this writing session with Serena and Hill, which was already a little nervous about. I had found out this person signed a lease without letting me know and was going to just move out and not pay the next month's rent, which was in a few days. So that was very stressful, and I went into that writing situation and just honestly spilt it all out, told everything to Serena, and she was like jotting down in her notes things I was saying, and then the song was like born very organically. The three of us just kind of finished it all in one session, so yeah.
Sometimes the best songs are the ones that just come right out in 30 minutes and you write the whole thing down.
Yeah, exactly.
Holly, how do people find out more about you? What's the website? What are the socials? And what are the streaming platforms?
Yeah, I try to keep it really easy. It's my name, Hill Kourkoutis. So I say Holly and then Claus like Santa Claus with an I-U-S. You can find me on all the platforms you listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all those good things. And yeah, that's my website's hollykourkoutis.com. So yeah.
We have been in conversation with Hill Kourkoutis. Holly, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.